The 1994 Camaro. What else would you expect from the country that invented rock and roll?
Choices! You gotta make choices. Hey, kid, you wanna fly? You gotta buy.
No! Exercise the right choice.
Visit your local park and recreation department today.
Saturday night.
I was considered one of the best, if not the best.
Sunday morning.
I am a God-sent preacher.
Did you ever love a
Saturday night.
Ladies and gentlemen, Gatemouth Moore.
Sunday morning.
Bishop, Gatemouth Moore. Let's give a lot of
Saturday night, Sunday morning. Monday night at 9 Eastern, 8 Central. Only on Discovery Showcase. It could fit in the palm of your hand. Small, soft, and fragile. Yet it's the most powerful force on Earth. What allows us to reason and learn, create and dream, to change our world. Take a voyage back, witness the imprint of memory, and unlock the promise of the fires of the mind. On Infinite Voyage, Thursday at 10 Eastern, 9 Central, only on the Discovery Channel.
Some people just can't resist the urge to submerge. The Subhuman 3 and the Bionic Dolphin are among the latest in personal submersibles.
Virtual reality is one of those new terms in evolution that's constantly being misunderstood. What it really comes down to is an experience that is immersive, and at some point you suspend your disbelief. It becomes real for some point.
It's fallen filled with exploding eggs, not to mention smoke detectors and barcode scanners answering your questions on the Answer Guide. Can't stop.
The next step doesn't always have to succeed. Sometimes an innovation can fail and still launch a whole new industry. Hi, I'm Richard Hart with the next step in technology. What you're about to see is one technology designed to scoot across the surface of a lake and under it. And you're also going to see something which was designed to be the fastest human-powered submarine ever. It isn't, and the Dolphin has a tough time holding its breath very long. Nonetheless, they are still the next step.
We have a launch! We have a launch! The FAU boat is streaming off to the side!
Some people just can't resist the urge to submerge. The Subhuman 3 and the Bionic Dolphin are among the latest in personal submersibles. The Subhuman 3 is the most recent in the evolution of submarines built to compete in the H.A. Perry Foundation's International Submarine Races. This annual event promotes competition in propulsion, hull design, and life support systems for two-man human-powered submersibles. Jim Richardson and the Subhuman Group have incorporated design advancements into their new boat, which should allow it to break the record-setting speeds of the Subhuman 2.
On paper, it should be able to do 6.5 knots. We have the world record with the old boat at 4.72 knots. And based on the drag from the current boat, the horsepower it takes to propel that amount of mass to that speed, it should be able to do 6.5 knots.
At the heart of the new Subhuman is a linear drive system that is operated like a stair-stepper machine by the propulsor. That's the guy in the back who does all the work.
The distance from the back to the knee when the propulsor can get his full power out of his full stroke is about 24.5 to 25 inches. The diameter of this boat at this particular point is set on our propulsor's distance across the back. When he says it is tight, it is tight. It is the exact distance that he needs.
The twin counter-rotating props are pivot-mounted to provide vectored thrust for more efficient steering. Although the lighter Subhuman 3 was hampered by less than favorable weather conditions during the 1993 races, the Subhuman Group plans to pursue another Guinness World Record attempt. If pedal-powered propulsion is not appealing, perhaps the bionic Dolphin is. The Variable Attitude Submersible Hydrofoil, or VASH, Bionic Dolphin is a prototype surface-subsurface vehicle. It was designed and built by Tom Rowe and Dennis Kaiser to mimic the capabilities of its namesake sea mammal. According to the designers, the Bionic Dolphin should be able to reach surface speeds of 80 miles an hour and dive as deep as 100 feet.
A conventional submarine works very similar to a blimp. It takes on ballast, becomes heavier than the water that surrounds it, and virtually sinks. This will always remain buoyant even when totally flooded with water. We depend on forward motion and hydrodynamic force on our pectoral flippers and our fluke flippers to create enough downforce to overcompensate the buoyancy. We virtually fly it underwater. As soon as we surface,
an ingenious air recovery system gulps air through blowholes when the Dolphin is on the surface, replenishing a compressed air supply which feeds the engine during the dives.
All right, this is our rudder control. On the right-hand switches, bank of switches, we have primary engine controls. Left hand, we have fans and pumps. This is our throttle, which we made from the thumb throttle off an ATV. Basically, these are how we control dive, down, jumps, just pull it back hard.
Overcoming the positive buoyancy of craft is proving to be a major challenge. The Dolphin has been plagued by a series of mechanical failures. Well, nothing that a few $100 grand of research money couldn't fix.
We're constantly being asked the question of when's it going to be available to the public, and all we can come up with at this point is, well, when we can afford it. That R&D is a pretty expensive thing. Yeah. The engine itself is off the back of my dad's ski boat. He made the mistake of going to LA one week and leaving me in charge of the house.
You probably won't see a pedal-powered submarine on the market in the foreseeable future, but Tarco Research hopes to be able to market the Dolphin in either a kit or turnkey form within the next 5 years. In the meantime, you'll just have to hold your breath. The fastest human-powered vehicle ever is a bicycle called the Cheetah, built by 3 college grads who firmly believe that one day we'll be able to go 75 miles an hour in a bike. But for now, the Cheetah's record is 68 3/4 miles per hour. Next up, why go to a video game arcade when you can enter a virtual world? And there's more to software than word processors, a planning session on the old PC.
This portion of Discovery is brought to you in part by Chrysler Plymouth, a division of the Chrysler Corporation.
Now, put yourself in America's #1 selling minivan. The genuine article is now on sale. Chrysler Plymouth's National Minivan Sale returns with the biggest savings ever on our safest minivans ever. Now, you can save up to $2,600 on Plymouth Voyager, Grand Voyager, and Chrysler Town & Country. $2,600 in cash back and option savings on quad seats, tilt, cruise, and more. The Chrysler Plymouth National Minivan Sale, only at the Minivan Store.
Across Africa and beneath the ocean, what we can learn and how we can help. First, they seem invincible, but Africa's great elephants are struggling to survive. What can be done? Then, just like us, in so many ways. Why? Jane Goodall reveals this unique relationship. And below the surface with the American lobster. Then a little attention for a big problem, saving our oceans. This week, beginning at 9 Eastern, 8 Central.
This is the Cyber Chair, the first virtual reality furniture for the home. Sitting in here, you can experience a particular kind of VR called telepresence. Telepresence fools you into thinking you're somewhere else, maybe even someplace you've never even seen before. It's done through sight and sound in 3D. For the sound, there are stereophonic headphones here. They give you more than just stereo. This is 3D sound. And stereoscopic glasses or goggles. These give you a 3D image generated by a computer. So you've got 3D sight, 3D sound, but it gets better than that. Let's say the imaginary experience you've chosen is a helicopter flight over a town in France. All right, so as you're flying along, you get a great 3D image through here. You get the sound that makes you think you're there, but you get motion too. Because as the helicopter goes left, right, up, down, the chair moves in response to this imaginary world through 6 degrees of freedom. So you've got the sight, the sound, and the sensation. With these buttons, you can move a computer cursor or a mouse control. You've got a trigger, if that's your game. Other buttons for fast forward, reverse, whatever you want to program these buttons to do for the total experience. Okay, but now, imagine the next step. Let's say a friend is halfway around the world in the same kind of chair, and the two of you are connected over a telephone line. You can talk to each other and hear each other, and better yet, you can experience the same virtual world. Through something called ImagiNet, a new kind of network, you can see each other and hear each other in this imaginary world, the total VR experience over the telephone. There is a consumer version of this which will allow you to use your own PC at home to generate the sights and sounds, and an arcade version, an industrial strength version, if you will. This is going to change the face of gaming. Those of us who used to drop a quarter into a video game machine are now dropping into virtual worlds.
Virtual reality is one of those new terms in evolution that's constantly being misunderstood. What it really comes down to is an experience that is immersive, and at some point you suspend your disbelief. It becomes real for some point.
At Virtual World, that line between virtually real and really real becomes cloudy the moment you walk in the door.
Hello, welcome to Virtual World, the world's first.
Here's your boarding pass.
First, you're assigned a virtual mission after paying a real $7. Your choices are Red Planet, a game of chase, or Battletech, a game of combat. I'm going with Battletech. You also have to choose a handle or nickname. How about Die Hard?
Hey, wait a minute. This says Die Hard. This could be interesting.
You know, like when you're moving in open terrain and you're moving fast at full speed.
This bar-like waiting room is where you and your fellow teammates trade Battletech war stories as you wait for your alpha number and mission to be called. Think of it as a singles bar for the X generation.
Pushing the joystick to the right or left will turn the vehicle right or left respectively.
It's in the briefing that you start to see everyone's true colors, and the concept of team begins to fade. You realize that you are about to wage virtual war against your compadres. Welcome to my pod. Every player gets into a little capsule like this with an instrument panel that looks like a jet fighter, but you're not in a plane. You're in a giant robot. You make them walk faster or slower with this. This is a joystick. There are sights here because if you pull the trigger, you fire a gun. There's a radar display here, and in front of you, you can move around and see all of your opponents. Introducing Jolly Roger, P-Funk, Trillion, and Jammin' JR.
You know what they say, virtual war is virtual hell.
You're not playing against a computer. You're not memorizing what Mario has to do. You're playing against other people. And that challenge, that outthinking of the other human, is where the real dynamics, where the heat comes from this whole activity.
The goal of Battletech is to eject, which is a nice word for obliterate, your opponents before they eject you. What makes it possible is not one giant computer, but 3 little computers inside each capsule, and all of them on a sophisticated computer network. And after your 10 minutes of glory are up, the question is, how did Jolly Roger reduce my Thor Prime to rubble?
I finally figured out the problem. The problem was, I just figured out, at one point I looked at the radar screen and I said, they've surrounded me, and I thought, I get it.
The man in the middle.
You want to get on TV? Get the guy in pod number 5. Thanks a lot. I think I died 400 times.
After the battle, you see a play-by-play, blow-by-blow of your mission.
See, if you shoot torso shots all the time, you screw up their armor, but you don't kill them. But if you just aim lower, you take out a leg.
Now he tells me.
In my case, I discovered that I came in last place with a score of negative 1,563 and 3 deaths. Not to mention that my missile pack was shattered and my searchlight vaporized.
Basically, they ganged up on me, and I was fighting 5 people with 1 robot, okay? Now, they did that on purpose. Otherwise, I would have won.
The next step for Virtual World is to allow players in different parts of the real world to compete against each other at the same time through true telegaming. The Cyber Chair from RPI Advanced Technology Group is selling in the consumer version for the home for about $3,000. And once again, you get to use your own PC at home to drive the sound and the graphics. And the sensations, there's one more we forgot to tell you about. It comes through this, the tactile brick. With one of these hooked up to the telephone line, you can send feelings to someone halfway around the globe. That's right, with a telephone and one of these, you finally can reach out and touch someone. Something called Wedding Workshop. Coming up, how to design your house and plan your wedding, all on a disc. Let's make it an afternoon wedding, white with black as the secondary color. An outdoor wedding, sit down or buffet, well, you get the idea. And Paul and Phil answer some of those nagging technical questions.
I've always wondered, how does the smoke detector work?
Oh, good question, and look, we have one right here.
Now, put yourself in America's #1 selling minivan. The genuine article is now on sale. Chrysler Plymouth's National Minivan Sale returns with the biggest savings ever on our safest minivans ever. Now, you can save up to $2,600 on Plymouth Voyager, Grand Voyager, and Chrysler Town & Country. $2,600 in cash back and option savings on quad seats, tilt, cruise, and more. The Chrysler Plymouth National Minivan Sale, only at the minivan store.
In a time of peace, love, and outrage.
I didn't do this. What are you trying to do to me?
They took away his freedom. This is your home for the rest of your life. But they couldn't kill his spirit.
I will fight on!
The last of the Mohicans, Daniel Day-Lewis and Emma Thompson, In the Name of the Father, rated R. Now playing in select areas. Check newspapers.
Tonight, see the African savannah and the nightlife of the lion on a special double safari. Then explore the inside of a volcano on Challenge and open the justice files on Family Crime. Tonight on the Discovery Channel.
Get rock bottom prices through Monday only. Hurry before they're all gone. Get the best prices now. It's for 3 days only.
Why for only 3 days? Not at Old Forge Springhouse Ford. With the Old Forge Springhouse one price value policy, the same low prices are clearly posted on every new Ford car and truck and every worry-free pre-owned vehicle every day with no negotiating, no time limit, and no hassles. The one price value policy. It's the right way to do business. Call 1-800-BUY-FORD. Old Forge Springhouse Ford on North Bethlehem Pike where Ambler and Springhouse meet.
Most childhood immunizations are now required to be covered under health insurance policies. I'm Representative Carol Rubley. A pamphlet explaining Pennsylvania's Childhood Immunization Act is available at my office. The law requires all such vaccinations and booster shots be covered by health insurance policies. The brochure also includes a suggested immunization schedule and reviews other state laws concerning immunization. Contact my office for your free copy.
From time to time on the show, we like to give you a peek at some new software you might enjoy using on your own personal computer. So this time around, we sought out rare and inexpensive programs to help you plan and design everything from weddings to your career. Let's start with a floor plan. Design Your Own Home comes in 3 flavors: interior, architecture, and landscape. Each of the programs gives you a choice of more than 100 different objects, from palm trees to petunias, that you can include in your design. Inside the home, you have a choice of more than 100 different pieces of furnishings that you can add to your floor plan. You don't have a great deal of choice of colors and materials, but you can change the dimensions to suit your floor plan or lot size. Let's move some furniture. The chair should go up. Well, no, leave the chair alone. The bed looks much better up at the top. And let's move that potted plant to that credenza. Well, you get the idea. The computer gives you ideas before you get into heavy lifting or uprooting the roses. If it's a career you're designing, a program called Achieving Your Career is an ambitious effort to try to help you get a job. Among other things, it has templates for resumes, helping you organize job experience and education and setting your goals. There is a letter writing database, too, and a database of companies that might be hiring, everything from finance to tech. There's also one-on-one interview simulation and help with negotiation.
Niggling annoyances like misspellings might give you misgivings, and it does take up a lot of hard disk drive space, 5 megabytes. But achieving your career just might be helpful in getting that next job. Finally, let's plan a wedding with something called Wedding Workshop that keeps track of your guests, who has RSVP'd, expenses, even competing bids for performing the ceremony. Typically, you'd start out by doing this. Let's say Julia and Lyle are getting married. You'd fill in the name of the bride, followed by the name of the groom, the date. Let's make it an afternoon wedding, white with black as the secondary color, an outdoor wedding, sit-down or buffet. Well, you get the idea. One drawback is there is only room for 16 letters for the name of the person who is performing the ceremony. And another problem is you only have room for 4 bridesmaids' names in the wedding party. Still, it is the only program of its kind, certainly the most detailed program for figuring out what your ceremony is going to look like. Working with all of this software has raised a couple of problems in the computer world. For instance, if the letters HD appear on a disk, a computer disk, it stands for high density. If it appears on a computer, those letters stand for hard disk or hard drive. I'm not sure which. And why is it that computer disk ends in a K, whereas compact disk and laser disk end in a C? I'm not even going to get into the difference between RAM, ROM, and REM. That is left as an exercise to the viewer.
Inventory gets low enough.
Next, the answer guys get down to the really important questions facing you in this high-tech world.
Attention shoppers, for the next 5 minutes, everything in the meat department is free.
Historically, Chrysler luxury liners have had all the excitement of a bowl of prunes, said Motor Trend magazine. Enter the Chrysler New Yorker. 24 valves, 214 horses, and award-winning cab-forward design.
Come on, get the lead out.
No prune, but it is available in black cherry. The Chrysler New Yorker, an eloquent expression of form following function.
Before they could start at the 1994 Winter Games, we started. 4 years ago, IBM was here helping plan and design every event. The Lillehammer Olympic Organizing Committee chose IBM, not just to integrate thousands of computers and systems, but to actually help manage the Winter Games. A job, we're told, equivalent to putting on 2 Super Bowls a day for 16 days. So we've been here, preparing the world for what's to follow the great starts, the great finishes. The 1994 Olympic Winter Games, gold, silver, bronze, and blue.
Hey, it's a huge Ace Dollar Day sale. There are values everywhere you look.
Brushes and bulbs.
Cords and caulks.
Glue and gloves.
And more for just $1 each.
So look into the Ace Dollar Day sale today. You'll see so many ways to save.
Do you know?
Yeah.
That what most people don't know about AIDS could fill a video? Time out. The truth about HIV, AIDS, and you.
It's filled with facts and fun. Rent one free at participating video stores.
This is not something that I read in books. This is something that's family history for me.
Here at The Next Step, one of our jobs, and we take it very seriously, is to explain in a clear, simple manner how things work. That way we feel that you can take better advantage of the technology in your life. And that's why we call Paul and Phil our answer guys.
Hello, I'm Paul. And I'm Phil. We're the answer guys. And as time marches forward and technology becomes more and more advanced, sometimes the world is changing so rapidly that we don't have time to pause and say, huh?
Yeah, what is that thing and how does it work?
Exactly.
Those are the questions for which the answer guys were created. And so today, give it your best shot. Come on, try us out.
We dare you.
I've always wondered, how does a smoke detector work?
Oh, good question. And look, we have one right here.
There's your garden variety home smoke detector. We'll pop the lid off because we don't need that. This right here is your detection chamber. And if you look closely, if we can get a close shot there, you will see the radiation symbol and the words caution, radioactive material. Did you know that there was radioactive material in your smoke detector? You don't want to take one of these off the ceiling and do this for a week or 10 days at a time. It wouldn't be good.
That'd be a big mistake. Now, what happens is that radioactive material sets up a low-voltage electronic field. When small airborne particles, such as those found in smoke, enter the chamber, it lowers the voltage and actually sets off the alarm like that.
Yeah, just like that. And you know what the answer guys say? Better living through radiation.
Okay, next question.
Hey, answer guys, how do those barcode label things work at the supermarket?
Well, here we are at our favorite grocery store, and it's a state-of-the-art grocery store because it has
The UPC scanner.
Yes, it does. UPC, or Universal Product Code. That's the barcode that our friend was talking about earlier. Now, a barcode is a self-contained message for computers, a series of black and white stripes of varying widths that stand for zeros and ones, a language a computer understands.
Computers operate on a binary numeral system, nothing but zeros and ones, which it then converts to base 10 numerals that we all understand. And of course, every product in the store has its own code number.
And here's what happens when you go to the check stand. The product gets passed over the red laser light scanner.
Beep. Why laser light? Because it's a clean, pure, intense light source, and no other light will interfere with its reading of the barcode.
Now, when it reads that code, two important things happen. First of all, it tells the cash register that you just bought a 10-ounce box of cereal, $2.27, an excellent value.
Boy, no kidding. It also tells a central computer somewhere to subtract that box of cereal from its stock, and when the inventory gets low enough, the computer automatically orders more of this fine breakfast cereal.
Wow, fast, efficient, the best. We love that barcode thing.
Attention shoppers, for the next 5 minutes, everything in the meat department is free.
Tell me, why does an egg explode in a microwave?
Gee, it sure enough did explode. Take a look at that, Phil, and tell them what happened.
Well, what happened is this. The microwave, using a magnetron tube, is heating the inside of the egg. Microwaves heat moisture. While the inside of the egg is heating, it's trying to expand inside the shell.
But the shell remains rigid, so the inside expands. The shell is rigid. The inside expands. The shell is rigid. Kablooey!
Yes, and it leaves a fascinating design on the inside of our Pyrex dish.
And a smell that is indescribable.
No, I could describe it.
Phil, I think I could too, but I wish that you wouldn't.
Okay.
So that's all the time we've got for now. Thanks for the great questions. And if you've got a technology question,
send it to the Answer Guys. I think our address will magically appear on the inside of the microwave door. It's the Answer Guys, care of the Next Step, 1001 Van Ness Avenue, San Francisco, California, 94109.
There we go. That's all the time we've got for now. Thanks. I'm Paul.
And I'm Phil. We're the Answer Guys.
This falls into the category, I think, of kids don't try this at home. But there is a serious lesson to be learned here. In the early days, before we knew much about the microwaves used in radar operators in cold climes would briefly step in front of the antenna to get warmed up and then step back out. Bad idea. The principal risk by a leaky microwave oven is to the eye. It doesn't have the same capability of throwing off excess heat that other organs in the body do, and so excess pressure can build up and it can be permanently damaging. So let's be careful in the kitchen. Thanks for joining us. We look forward to seeing you on the next Step.
Host Richard Hart brings you the hottest new toys, tools, and technology every Tuesday night at 9:30 on Next Step. But now join us for the very best in real-world entertainment on Discovery Showcase.
This portion of Discovery is brought to you in part by Chrysler Plymouth, a division of the Chrysler Corporation.
It overpowered the Infiniti J30. It out-torqued the Nissan 300ZX. But more importantly, it eliminated, annihilated, and utterly destroyed the Chrysler stereotype. The Chrysler Concorde, an eloquent expression of form following function.
Across Africa and beneath the ocean, what we can learn and how we can help. First, they seem invincible, but Africa's great elephants are struggling to survive. What can be done? Then, just like us, in so many ways. Why? Jane Goodall reveals this unique relationship. And below the surface with the American lobster. Then, a little attention for a big problem, saving our oceans. This week, beginning at 9 Eastern, 8 Central. Saturday night.
I was considered one of the best, if not the best.
Sunday morning.
I am a God-sent preacher.
Did you ever love a
Saturday night.
Ladies and gentlemen, Gatemouth Moore.
Sunday morning.
Bishop, Gatemouth Moore. Let's give the Lord a great...
Saturday night, Sunday morning. Monday night at 9 Eastern, 8 Central. Only on Discovery Showcase.
Hello.
So, what'd you think of that Bonneville? Did you drive it?
Oh, that SSCI is terrific.
Yeah.
Supercharged, traction control, ABS, dual airbags, leather. What a car.
I told you.
And you were right. It's thousands less than the BMW or the Lexus.
Well?
I'm picking it up tomorrow. I owe you one, pal.
Okay. I'll take a white one.
At it with air fresheners that seem perfumey and artificial? Then try new Airwick Botanicals. Airwick Botanicals are made with pure botanical extracts, so they're effective and fresh-smelling. Botanicals are one air freshener that really refreshes the air. So wave goodbye to your old air freshener and try new Airwick Botanicals, the refreshing air freshener.